Oh, Sonic. My darling Sonic. How I love you so. I love you, Sonic. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so. Okay, that might have been a little too much, but regardless, hello everybody. My name's Roland Nolan, and today we're gonna go into my inner Sonic psyche and kind of see, hey, what's the deal? So let's dive right in. The year was 2007. The sun was shining, the birds were chirping, and my parents were divorced. We're fine, it's all good, everything's back together, we're chill. But, having said that, there was a good period of time where I was jumping from household to household. Well, yes, it did suck that we were living all under the same roof. It did weirdly come with a neat little pro. I had different game consoles with each parent. With my mom, I had the Nintendo Wii as well as a PlayStation 2. With my dad, I had an Xbox 360 as well as a PlayStation 3. So one day on my dad's rotation, we were just hitting the town and he decides to take me to one of my favorite places in all of the world. That place being Blockbuster! Aside from the countless movies to rent, you actually had the option to rent games there as well. So typically what I would do, I would make a deal with my parents saying, hey, let's rent this game. And if the game goes really well, I would really beg my parents to buy said game. So while I was at Blockbuster with my dad, he decides to surprise me with this gem. Ladies and gentlemen, behold, my first ever Sonic game. What? Oh yeah! This is happening! Sonic 06, baby! Let's go! It is pretty trash. But regardless, I love the ever-loving frick out of that game. It was the only game for me at the time that actually had a story campaign. And not only was it a decent-sized campaign, you actually had tons of characters to choose from. Just seeing all these colorful characters come to life through my controller really did hit my dopamine centers like no other. Even through the countless times I've rage quitted because of the mock speed sections, there was something that was keeping me coming back to the game. And when I finally managed to beat 06, I discovered something. There's more. Anytime I see a Sonic game out in the wild, I would just beg either one of my parents to buy it for me. Titles I remember playing so fondly throughout my childhood were games such as Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, the Rivals games, Unleashed, the Rush games, the Flash games, the OC creators, whatever this was, whatever that was, etc., etc. But my obsession for the blue blur didn't just stop there. No. If there was anything Sonic related out there for me to latch my grubby little hands on, I'm getting my hands on it. It's for this reason I always watched the cartoons. It's for this reason I always drew Sonic characters. It's for this reason I always asked for Sonic merch for my birthdays or Christmas. And speaking of birthdays, I always had a Sonic themed birthday party. Don't believe me?
Get a load of this!
Prime Shad right there, chat. Prime. Now, having gone through a bit of my lore, you may be wondering to yourself, okay, so as part of your childhood, why haven't you, forgot about it? Well, I actually resonate with Sonic on a much deeper level than you might expect. Like I've mentioned previously, my parents were split for a time, so no matter the household, Sonic was the one constant I had to look forward to when I was bouncing back and forth for a bit. And aside from that, Sonic was, and still is, a character I adore through and through. No matter which depiction of Sonic I watched, he was the cool dude with the attitude. He didn't follow anyone's agenda. He just did what was right and did it with flair. And beyond the way past cool persona, he had heart. A lot of the titles I played through as a kid dealt with a lot of heavy themes and messages. To name a few, some dealt with fear of mortality, losing a loved one, not being able to save everyone all the time, so on and so forth. I'll make a separate video on the 2000s era, but regardless, every story that came out of the 2000s carried weight. While some games had their flaws in terms of gameplay, for sure, their stories usually... Sonic Team made an effort to put real thought and action behind their storytelling. So having 06 be my first story-driven game, I was enthralled by the world building of just that one title. And no matter what the story was, my favorite headshot was usually the one that saved the day. At least most of the time. In short, I look up to Sonic. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. No. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been embarrassed? How about bullied? How about straight up shamed for enjoying something that you really like, but society says, nah, cringe? In that case, you know exactly what it's like being a Sonic fan. All jokes aside, being a Sonic fan can be pretty rough. Specifically referring to my childhood, I would always metaphorically get dirt in my eye if I even mentioned the thought of liking the blue blur. Like, there was this one time in school where it was like a fun day with no schoolwork, so the teachers allowed students to bring their own board games, video games, card games, etc. So I remember the teacher called for volunteers, and I brought my Sat AM DVD collection. I immediately darted to our TV wheel station, and I plugged that sucker in, and I was expecting nothing but uproar from my peers. And what did I get? I got bullied. I got shamed. I got straight up slammed dunk emotionally on that day. Nothing but boos from this side of the classroom and nothing but rude comments from this side. It was rough. But despite that, it's not actually the worst I felt as a Sonic fan. The worst I've ever felt when it came to being a Sonic fan was actually in the 2010s. And it wasn't because I was getting teased by other kids or my parents or even society for that matter. It was actually the Sonic franchise itself that was hurting me. And you may be wondering to yourself, well, Nolan, you just overhyped this anthropomorphic thingy thing for like a lot of time, so what could the franchise have done to you, brother? Well, remember how I was saying it was huge for me at the time to see storytelling done through my favorite characters like this? Well, during the 2010s, things got pretty lazy. Now, I can forgive the Sonic franchise for a lot of things. I mean, the dude has had a plethora of identity crises. In this one, he has a sword. In this one, he turns into a werehog. And in this one, he drives a car. A car! But it's fine, it's whatever. The Sonic team was trying something new and I can respect that for them. Stories were still solid, things were still pretty peachy. But when I played the 2010 games and was constantly bombarded by dialogue such as this.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Hey yo, what the
The lazy writing, the whole boom mess already made Sonic more of a laughingstock than he was at the time. Not to mention this very real thing that was going to be a very real reality for a good chunk of time. I was at my wit's end with this franchise. Sonic Team's given up, I thought. Only bare minimum work was the name of the game, and that sucked. I was growing tired. Until...
He has risen, baby girl.
I'm here to go beyond my limit, not to compromise. And you can tell me if I mean it, looking in my eyes. Cause I've been waiting for my moment to strike. So come close, let me show you what it's like. Yeah, you can try to stand in my path, but you're gonna regret it. I'll be the one who laughs last while I'm making my...
Not only did the movie design get a massive glow up, but Sonic Team actually put out a pretty damn good game with a pretty damn good story. There was actual thought and effort with this title, and it took them years to put it out there. And I am so thankful they took their time. Is it the most polished it could be? No. But if this game serves as the foundation for where the franchise can go, I'm excited. And because of the success of the movie and the game, Sonic is cool again. I see people excited about movie news. I see millions tuning into this stuff. I just see people excited for the next thing, Sonic, and it's just so... At the end of the day, I'm proud to be a Sonic fan. I'm happy to have had a childhood where, no matter the ridicule I got, I still unapologetically love this dude. And even now, my obsession is just ever growing, with no sign of stopping. And then who knows? Maybe 10 years when I get a nice chunk of change, I could splurge into things like more Sonic merch. Maybe some Sonic drip even. And while we're at it, let's go head to toe with Sonic tats. And also, maybe I'll buy a Sonic house. In the driveway will be parked a Sonic car and a Shadow motorbike. And on the roof will be my very own gun helicopter. Thanks for sticking around this long. I know it was a little different, but we're getting into the mix of things. We're trying some new things, all right? I'm trying some new things. But with all that being said, have a great rest of your day and night. And this is Roland Nolan, rolling out.